5, 4, 3. Top of the day, everyone. It's so great to be here on behalf of Thrashback Gaming. My name is Andy, and welcome to the Thrashback Podcast. Oh, and lucky you, Thrashback Podcast, Episode 1. The only downside to that is I can be kind of a dipshit, so who knows how off the rails this may get. But to start off, I want to say that for the first time in quite a while today, I got on the old Book of Face. I stumbled on, logged into my old Facebook, didn't really do or say anything other than scroll momentarily, and it was the usual. I'm just like, man, I just can't stand everybody a lot of the time. Excuse me. The fun part was, it's kids picture season, I guess. Or first season for kids. I don't know how many they do throughout the years if you get like a fall photo and a whatever photo. But the really cool part about this is, and I've seen it my whole life, but for some reason I finally was old enough and mature enough to really think about it. And the way they pose kids with these giant pencils in school photos. Why did they do that? Where did that start? Who was the pioneer for that? I want to know. Giant pencil pioneer, where are you? I wish it rhymed. Sorry for the pause there. I was thinking of like a Scooby-Doo melody with giant pencil guy being the star instead of Scooby. I told you it'd probably derail. We lasted minute 47 seconds. But anyhow, they pose these kids with these big giant pencils like, here, hold this, stand over there and smile at this camera whenever I say go, and then they take the picture, and hand the pencil back to the teacher, she's going to hand it to the next kid, and they do the thing. And I can't get over this guy. Someone had to fashion this thing, fabricate this pencil out of whatever, paint it up. And they're like, Randy, what's the big pencil for? And he's like, kids are going to hold it during school pictures. It's going to be fucking cool. I'm going to motherfucking sell these all over the country to school districts and photographers. And who knows? But then I started to really analyze it deep, and I started to think about, well, like, obviously it's like, well, the kids, they use pencils while they're in school, and, it's a school photo, so they hold a pencil. That's the meaning for this big, giant, comedically large prop. And I started to think, like, you start at the top of the ladder, and it's pencils and such, but then, like, say you're one of the slower kids, one of those little special, I don't want to use the word, it feels weird, like, I don't want to say retard, but I feel like I'm saying retard if I say special. They hold a giant crayon, and then they're in their photo. So, like, you have, in the yearbook, you see all the kids, like, oh, little Jeremy, he's holding a pencil. Oh, wow, look at Dylan, he's got a quill. He must be so smart, so advanced. And I don't know why we go back. I just think like powdered wigs, like a quill would be the top. Then you have like pencils, maybe shitty Bic pen, like with the tip chewed on. Like these different props that you have in different photos throughout your life. The slow kids get the crayon. But like, even though I just made it all up and it's not real, from now on, I'm going to judge how smart I think your kid is by the quality of writing utensil they hold in their yearbook photo, just so you know, in case you had any qualms about that. But that led me down another thing where I keep seeing these pictures of the kids and such. What the hell is the deal now with all the kids and wearing shirts? I guess it's Under Armour is a really popular one for putting these crazy ass like affirmations on t-shirts. Like, I love affirmations. I'm a huge advocate of affirmations. I write them on the fridge. I write them around the house. I write them on my guitar amps and guitars even. Like, anything that I want to practice or be involved in, I like to push myself and give myself these little bits of motivation and such. But to put affirmations on your t-shirt that say, like, all I know is winning. And I'd like to see you stop me, or I'd like to see you try and stop me, something like that. I'm looking down, I'm like, this kid's like 4 to 6 years old. I'd like to see you try and stop me. All I know is winning. Motherfucker, you're 4 to 6 years old. All you know is nothing. Like, you are, like, I'm sorry, no one wants to hear this, but it's the goddamn truth. At 4 to 6 years old, and aside from very special cases, you're basically worthless. You haven't contributed in any real way to actual function of society, aside from like a small group of your family and close friends that enjoy your fucking presence. Like, there's no real contribution. So to say, like, all I know is winning and just, I'd like to see you try and stop me. Like, I could kick a fucking 4-year-old like a football. Like, straight up. Pick him up, drop it, or him or her, drop them and kick them like a football. And, that's why I hate the shirt. And I understand the shirt. Well, that's not a challenge. It doesn't mean, like, why the fuck you gotta take it that. But it's not about that. It's just the fact that whenever you put clothes on, you're saying, like, this is what everybody else is going to see. This is the representation of myself I want to show to them. So when I see, like, I wouldn't wear a shirt. Like, I understand. There are many, many people out there, men and women alike, that would probably punt me like a football and choke me the fuck out and punch my face in. The difference is, I don't wear shirts that say, I'm the fucking king of the world, you fucking little bitch. And all I know is winning, you fucking loser. I don't try to push anybody's buttons with that. I try not to shit on anybody. I mean, I do sometimes, but not on purpose. I don't try it. I don't go out of my way to be like, check my shirt, bitch. Like, I just think that's so silly. But anyhow, I understand that kids, they don't control it. And that's the big thing. Like, you're controlling it for them. Don't do that. Don't put them in silly fucking things. Like, kids do stupid things. And, like, for example, a crazy thing that happened to me when I was a child that I started to kind of reminisce about recently was a long time ago. I was on a swing set at my grandmother's house, and she used to babysit a whole pile of kids. So there was always a bunch of kids running around, and I would say I was probably that 4 to 6 age, but I know I turned 6 at a specific place. So I had to be, I would say, 3 to 5, probably 4 to 5. But anyhow, I'm on this thing that it's not a seesaw. I've heard it called a teeter-totter as well, where it has the 2 rails going up, a seat on each side, and you hold the rail and push back and forth and get it to swing. I'm riding on this thing by myself, doing a little solo mission, because I was a loser then too, and I had this little plastic water gun that was in the shape of an Uzi. It was like opaque green. I can still see it with an orange trigger. But I had this, and I want to say I was swinging and doing something. I don't know if I was standing up or I was doing something where I wanted to get the gun from one hand to another. And somehow, in trying to not let go of the rail that I was holding, maybe I was swinging fast. I don't know. Who knows what the hell. I was a kid, like I said. But I ended up dropping the gun on the ground. So now I'm like swinging still, and I'm looking down, and the gun's flying back and forth to and fro as I go past it. And I reach down to try to scoop it up, like mid-flight, mid-swing, and pull it up off the ground. And I don't know how, but like I slid half off the seat, half on, like I had this weird shit going on. And I just remember this excruciating sharp pain. And like somehow, when I slid off, my teeny tiny sweatshirt wearing dick and balls, to put it in scientific terms, got wedged in like the moving parts of this goddamn shitty old green swing set. And oh man, it was just nuts. I just remember screaming like a kid does when they get hurt, especially when they're confused, they don't know what the hell's going on. And I just remember, like, it wasn't like getting kicked in the nuts. It probably had some of that pain, but combined with like something was wrong. And I'm running just towards any adult I can find. And my dad, I don't know what he was doing, but he was outside at the time. And he's like looking off in the distance, like looking down at me to see what the fuck I'm screaming about. But he was just more of like, oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? What's he bitching about now? But I'm running like crazy. But because of my hysteria, all the kids my grandmother babysits are running with me, like seeing what I'm probably going to die at the time. And that's probably what everybody was thinking. That's probably how I made it seem. But I'm just kind of pointing to my crotch to my dad, like, and panicking. And he fucking, in front of all these kids that my grandmother babysat, pulls my fucking sweatshorts down to inspect my injury. And there's my fucking dick and my balls with a laceration across the nutsack, bleeding in front of all these little ass kids, embarrassed and hurt and just so painful. And it was just such a shitty time. And I'm pretty sure I had a Band-Aid put on my balls, and I think maybe even 2. It was like the cartoon X, like a Band-Aid X, like King Hippo's belly button on my fucking ball sack. Now, imagine how much more embarrassing that goddamn story would have been had I been wearing a t-shirt that said, all I know is winning, as I run with my balls slit in half. So people, don't put your kids in weird shit. I mean, get it together a little bit, because you never know when they might come running with tears down their face, streaming because their Uzi fell and they slit their fucking balls in half.